She wouldn't last 10 minutes in a COD lobby is not, nor has it ever been, a valid excuse for men to act like pieces of human garbage in gaming. I shouldn't have to play a game where all I say is hi and the whole game is thrown and I'm in hell for the next 40 minutes because men are being emotional about it. That is not normal, and that's not how the old COD days were, because I promise you, as a man, you have never had somebody throw on the basis of your gender. That doesn't happen. You can say it happens. You're lying. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's such a common thing in the comments of my videos. You guys want to be oppressed so bad that you'll look at a man calling me telling me he's gonna tell me to get back in the kitchen and say it's not a woman thing and say that that happens to you too. It doesn't.
Oh, really?
Well, that is where you're wrong, sweetheart. Men, in fact, do not want to be oppressed. We're men. We have better ways of finding validation than just complaining about internet trolls. You're the one sitting there feigning oppression because there are guys who say vile things on the internet. Here's the reality of the situation, sweet cheeks. Call of Duty multiplayer lobbies have been and always will be a cesspool of trash talkers, trolls, and cult recruiters. And much like the world you pretend to want, it's an equal opportunity purveyor of toxicity. Man or woman, gay or straight, noob or elite, there will be a lot of people just being jerks. The internet has given everyone the gift of anonymity, and many of them use that as an excuse to troll others while playing a first-person shooter. That's just the harsh reality. And if you don't like that reality, then feel free to return to the kitchen in peace. No one's gonna care either way.
There's a reason that historically, male-dominated spaces are known for being toxic and unsafe. That goes for gaming, that goes for sports. Any male-dominated space is a bad one. That's not me being sexist. That is me saying there is an inherent issue with the way that you guys have your locker room talk that makes everybody else feel unsafe. I don't know how you could possibly find it fun to make other people feel unsafe. No woman is asking men to make gaming a safe space.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
With sunshine and rainbows and everything, but could you please be normal? Because I want to be able to enjoy playing the game without my life being threatened, without my body being threatened, because I'm existing as a woman.
Oh, poor you!
Okay, you need to stop being sexist, woman. You're sitting there and just assuming the gender of tens of thousands of Call of Duty multiplayer trolls. I think you need to take a step back and look deep within yourself and think about where that hate comes from. You are using the mean words of other people as an excuse to feel unsafe. But we're talking about trash-talking COD players. These guys will say anything they want. You know why? They know it'll make you weepy. It'll affect your ability to play effectively, and most importantly, because they can. There's literally nothing you can do to change that. You either mute them, pwn them, or fight back with witty banter, which are apparently skills that waved bye-bye to you a long time ago. But what you don't do is tell the trolls to leave you alone. That'll just make things worse, and that fact is painfully obvious to anyone who has ever gamed online even once.
And men are the ones making it unsafe. And I do not care if you feel targeted by me saying men, or if you feel attacked by me saying men. You are part of the problem. If you feel attacked by that, you're part of the problem. If you say just mute them, you're part of the problem. If you sit there and let them say that to me and you don't intervene, you are part of the problem. Because I have a lot of male friends, normal male friends, who don't say slurs and don't threaten people and just play like normal. I understand it's not all men. But if you are not one of the men doing this, it is entirely on you to help stop the men who are. If you don't understand that, and you don't understand power imbalances and gender hierarchy, it's not my place to teach you. I'm not your mother. I'm not your teacher. Close the game for 5 minutes and educate yourself. But stop making this a bad experience for everybody else who's just trying to play the game.
I hated that so much.
Well, it's awfully convenient that you say it's not all men, but then immediately proceed to blame all men for different reasons. You blame the trolls for hurting your overly sensitive feelings, and then you blame the dudes who mute the trolls so they can focus on playing the game, and even if they weren't muting, they still won't help you. There's literally no point in doing so. Now, if you're so sensitive to the point where some troll's gibberish is making you feel unsafe, that's not a troll problem. That is a you problem. Male gamers have to deal with toxic trolls all the damn time, and you just refuse to recognize it because it completely destroys your argument. And if men aren't willing to welcome each other when they play Call of Duty, what makes you so special? I'm failing to see how being told to mute the trolls is an affront to your character, especially when the 10 seconds it takes to mute those jerks is significantly more efficient than straight up demanding the very fibers of the internet culture need to be changed because your feelings are hurt because of mean words. Grow up, will ya?
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
So I've been single a year and a half now, but I took an entire year to not date guys, to not have sex with guys, to not talk to guys, to not even interact with guys. They were fucking canceled. They were off limits. We didn't associate with the male species. But now we're like, okay, we're gonna step back out into the dating pool again. Started that about like 6 months ago. But because I took a whole year to focus on myself, establish my worth, understand what my wants and my needs are for a future relationship, I'm able to articulate that so well with men now, and I honestly don't think it's possible for a man to play me or disrespect me or screw me over, because the moment that happens, I'm out. There is not a second chance. One fucking strike and you are out, baby. Like, and that's how women need to be.
Well, bye.
Oh, woman, don't sell yourself short. You will be played by all of the dudes. It's all but guaranteed. Here's why. You needed to take an entire year to figure out what you wanted in a relationship, and you're too dense to realize that you're not exactly the caliber of woman that the big Chad Boski desires for the long term. You're loud, you swear, and you're clearly more masculine than not. Making your intentions known won't make a difference. Men control access to relationships, and they're the ones who decide if you're worthy of their time and energy, and not the other way around. With that being said, those dudes that you want will either ignore you or will feed you whatever lines you want to hear if it means charming whatever the hell it is you're wearing off for a few minutes of fun time in whatever barroom toilet you guys find yourself. And you'll fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. Every time. It's been a year since you've had any form of human contact, and trust me, sister, those men know an easy target when they see one.
Know your fucking worth and what your standard is. If a guy is not meeting your standards because you don't fucking know what you actually need or require, figure that out before you're fucking starting to date guys. You need to understand what you need before you're dating.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000-year-old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
Jeez, the mouth on this woman. I guess I'm not really understanding why it's so complicated for you to figure out the purpose of dating someone. Typically speaking, it's been laid out and fairly straightforward for at least the last century and a half. You find someone that you like within your league, see if he's a good enough match, then you get married, poop out some babies, and then put in the time and effort to make things work. But if you can't figure that out, I don't think taking yourself out of the dating pool is gonna help. I mean, by all means, do it anyway. Your screaming isn't really something that any self-respecting man wants in his life, and your life of celibate solitude will do wonders for humanity in general.
Unless you're just going out there to then go do your thing, get but if you're actually like looking for something in the future, I'm not saying right now, I'm not saying you need a commitment, you need the ring within a month, but like if long term you're like, yeah, my goal and my intention with dating is to be married. Okay, what do you want in a relationship? What are you looking for in a man? What value do you need from yourself? What your standards look like? Figure that out, babe, or you're gonna keep getting over by men. They're gonna keep disrespecting you. You're gonna keep ending up in the situation where you're on TikTok crying over these damn men. And I don't want to see it anymore. Because couldn't fucking be me ever again. And I don't want it to be you.
And that is the exact reason why you're going to end up alone and miserable, sister. You're asking the wrong questions in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, let's say you do want something long term. Okay, that's all well and good. But what you should be asking is, what value do I bring to a man? What can I provide to make his life easier? What can I do so this man chooses me over all of the others in his life? If you want to get married, you actually have to provide something more than an entitled attitude, a shrill indoor voice, mediocre bedroom ability, and a foul mouth. You're asking a man to completely change his life for you. He's welcoming you into this world. He is sharing his money, resources, and bed exclusively with you. And if he's going to do that, then he's going to need something more than just hear a woman say, I want on repeat until divorce do you part. You should have figured this out long ago, woman. It's honestly not that hard. But I guess we need to make an exception in your case, huh?
I know it, your family knows it. Dogs know it.
You have to spend the night with me if I'm wrong. But 9 plus 10 is 21, right?
Okay, God! Let me have it!
No thank you, I have too much dignity. And also, I really don't have an overwhelming desire for a diseased broad to infect me with worms. Now I get it, you're trying to be cute and get people to comment on your intellectually devoid content, but here's the thing. All you're doing is confirming everything that we already know, and that is the Western education system has failed you miserably. And judging from how you're acting, the Earth is doomed regardless of your basic math skills. And because of your blatant disregard for those basic mathematics, the certified public accountant of the intergalactic space guide, you blue blachard all hail, has determined that your conduct on Earth has proven there is no hope for your humanity. In other words, you know what 2 plus 2 equals? Well, too bad.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
When you jump back into the dating world after divorce, this is one of, if not the #1 question I get asked from people either going through a divorce or have just gone through a divorce. #1 component, you will know when you have done all the work on you first. Take the time to get to know you. Fall in love with you first. When you get divorced, you have so much baggage and so much trauma that you have to work through. And if you say you don't, you're lying. Or you just don't think you do, and I'm here to tell you, you do. And you know what it was? How I knew I was ready?
No, and I don't care.
Well, considering that modern women are incapable of dealing with their emotions, then I'm going to say the best time for a modern divorcee to get back into the dating world is essentially never. Now, this doesn't count for women who were legitimately traumatized and maliciously mistreated by inhuman monsters. That's not who we're talking about here. We're talking about the kind of woman who initiates a divorce after 23 years of marriage because her horoscope said that she'd find true love on Arbor Day. That's not trauma. That's a pathetic attempt at monkey branching. Just take a look at how many women celebrate their divorces by throwing lavish parties. Just look at them. Definitely working through some trauma right there, that's for sure.
I reached a point where it didn't matter if I ever met somebody. If I was completely alone the rest of my life, I was happy with that because I was happy with me. I wasn't out there trying to look for my better half. I was already whole. I started dating, there was no expectations on things. There was no, is this the one? Because I went into the relationships just looking for friendships, just trying to get to know people. And then dating became really fun. Of course, you hope you find the one, but there's an amazing power that comes from not meeting somebody though. Because what's very common after divorce is that fear narrative, right? So you'll know when you're ready, when you're not afraid anymore.
That does not make sense.
Yeah, but who's afraid? We've been seeing a massive surge of divorces, and we have millions of examples of women who use vague terminologies like narcissist, financially abusive, or I'm not happy in order to justify initiating the divorce in the first place. They're not afraid to divorce their husbands. If anything, many of them are excited at the prospect of alimony and child support. And in many cases, it's the husbands who are left to pick up the pieces. They're the ones who might be a little reticent to date, especially if the reason for the divorce was some BS excuse like unpaid labor or mental loads.
If you're scared, you need to work on this and this first. And then if you're still scared, do it scared. And look, the truth is, you're probably gonna have some bad dates. Found out that I went on a date with a convicted rapist. Good times. But you brush it off and you tuck it up to a story. If you learn to love you and you know you've got your back, then it's just fun. So figure out who you are, what you want, and then go out and just enjoy it. Have a great day.
You don't know what words mean, do you?
Okay, so a divorced woman shouldn't date until she's not afraid to date anymore, but if she's still afraid, then she should date anyway because it might be fun to date someone with a criminal history? Lady, we've been saying this for decades. You are too old to be dating. You're supposed to be married and taking care of your family. If you enter into the dating world as a divorcee, you can't be surprised if the men out there assume that you're more of a recreational type. A lot of those self-respecting men don't really tolerate a divorced woman for a very long time because, well, why should he? You've already proven yourself to be impulsive, untrustworthy, and disrespectful. So let's be real here. You're not going to try and fix anything about yourself. Deep down, you think you're the victim, and victims are under no obligation to work on themselves because society. So if you're a divorced woman and still trying to date, I got 2 words for you. Good luck. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, maybe leave a couple of comments, and share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.